Hey patrons, what's up? Welcome to your August review for the $20 and up level. This is the level in which I pick a movie to review, anything I want to watch, and I review it for you. This is an uncut, unedited review of me just talking at the camera for a while, so hope you like that. Because today I'm talking about Mama, the 2013 horror movie. English language Spanish Canadian film, so that's fun. And that's directed by Andy Muschietti, who you may know as the director of It, Chapter 1 and soon to be Chapter 2. I think he's in production right now. And he co-wrote this with his sister, Barbara Muschietti, who is producing the It movie. So, you know what? I never really see a sibling team like that, like a brother-sister team, so that's really exciting to see. I like that. They wrote this movie together, and Guillermo del Toro produced it, pretty much meaning he believed in it and put up the money and helped get it made. It was based on a short by Andy Muschietti, Mama, and I'd never seen this movie before, so I went in with virgin eyes watching it the other night, and I really enjoyed it. I like this movie a lot, and it's fantastical. It's got kind of like a fairy tale element to it, and it's fun to see some tricks in there that you would later see pop up in It, because it's the same director, some of the same scares, some of the same appearance of things, but there were some cool things that were unique to it, I thought, like that dream sequence. I'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, it's a fun one. Good cast in here. Jessica Chastain, I feel, playing against type. I've never seen her in a role like this. She's like a rocker chick. I think she's wearing a wig because it's like black hair with like bangs and kind of, it's a little mullet-esque. But it's good. It's just weird seeing her without the trademark red hair and being like this disgruntled kind of apathetic at first character. I love that the first scene you see with her is her doing a pregnancy test and cheering when it's negative, like being really happy that she's not pregnant, that she's not a mom. And obviously, that's nothing too deep, but it's a fun introduction to the character who will later take on the mothering role. But first, we got Nikolai Coster-Waldau. Yep, I think that's his name. A Danish man, very handsome Danish man from Game of Thrones, of course. Jaime Lannister, holy shit. I think this is the first time I've seen him in something besides Game of Thrones. And you know what? He's trying his damnedest to do an American accent, and most of the time it's fine. A few of the times you hear a little bit of not American accent come out, but that's okay. He's just so damn handsome. What a handsome man. He's 43 in this movie. They try to make him look early 30s, and I think they succeed. But, he is actually in duo roles, technically. He plays twin brothers, but the first one gets, ready for spoilers? Hopefully you watched this already if you planned on doing that, because that first one gets killed pretty early on. It takes place in the 2008 financial crash, which is might as well use that for a setting for your movie, because apparently Jamie number one takes it out on all of his employees and shit, and he like kills people, and then he goes home and I guess he kills his wife and mother of his children. You don't see it on screen, and I'm sure one day I'll do this on a kill count, and it's just I know people would be like, why didn't you add all these people? If you don't meet the character first and they die like off screen or like in a death you hear of, I don't feel like that's something you should count. Like in Purge election year when the Candy Girl's like, I just killed my parents, and like people were like, you missed those. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I never met those parents. Like then what? Then you're counting like news broadcasts of murders and shit. I don't know, man. And I realized that in Curse of Chucky, I counted the dad, who you never saw, but you were at his funeral, and I feel like that's close enough. I don't know. Tangent. That was a tangent. That was a mama-less tangent, but he kidnaps his kids. He takes his kids and is driving real scary like in the cold snow. If you've never driven in snow, It's one of my least favorite things ever in my life. One of the most terrified times I've ever had as a living human being was when I had to drive from Flagstaff, Arizona, in like a foot of snow with no visibility in a very bad, shitty old car. And it was terrifying. Definitely thought I could die during that trip, but I didn't. I did not crash my car, unlike him, who crashes his car and then takes his little kids who are like 3 and 1. Or like, or no, she might be like, because how old is she? No, I think she's supposed to be around 3 or 4, I think, because I think she's like 8 years old when they find her 5 years later. But he takes those kids, they go to a cabin that's just in the middle of the woods, and he's about to shoot this kid in the head, dude. I guess he's going to kill them and kill himself. Holy shit, he puts that gun to the back of that kid's head, and I was like, no, they can't. No, they can't, and they don't, thankfully. Mama kills him. Mama, who's like this weird floaty thing, played by Javier Botet, the guy who played Slender Man in the movie I have yet to see, but he's got the cool long limbs, and so he plays Mama. Although Mama also has a lot of like effects on her, because before you ever see her, you hear the daughter say, "Hey, Dad, there's a floating woman coming here. I see a woman. She's not touching the ground." So like that's Mama. Turns out she's a ghost. She's a ghosty ghost. And she's looking for the kid who she tried to die with. It's this weird... I really like it. It's like this gothic romance. And not like romance as in like love, like a sexual kind of love. It's romantic in like the ideal sense of the way. Like, dying with your kid is like this romantic ideal, I guess. But it's gothic because it's dark. So that's what this movie's all about. That's why I think Guillermo del Toro took a liking to it. But yeah, so he gets killed, and then cut to 5 years later where his twin brother, also Jamie 2, is looking for his dad. See, this was a little weird for me that after 5 years they hadn't found them. I guess no one knew where the dad was driving off to in the beginning, and he kind of crashed his car like in a very woodsy, mountainous kind of region. But it still seems weird that after 5 years they didn't find anyone, but they finally do, and that's where our story opens properly with Jamie 2 and Jessica Chastain, who are like, they seem like early 30s they're supposed to be, and she's like in a rock band and he's a painter or something. They don't have a very stable lifestyle, but they find these kids and they're fucking feral, dude. Like this, oh man, that would be so crazy, because like, and they touch on this in the movie about how, like, the littler one, who was, like, a baby, like a 1-year-old pre-vocal when she was abandoned by her dad, like, those are crucial years, dude. Like, your brain will physically not form the way other people's brains will form if you're, like, isolated like that. And if you're you don't get brought up in the same kind of social atmosphere with the same kind of things being taught to you. Like, your brain meats are going to be different. They're not going to have all the same folds and shit. It's insane. I do like that you have this dichotomy, though, with the two daughters. Victoria's the older one. Lily is the one who was a baby. And so now they're like, I guess they're like, I want to say like 8 and 5. I think they say 8 years old for Victoria. I think at one point he's like, you're afraid of a crazy 8-year-old. But I like the dichotomy between them and how Victoria is able to come around more and is able to be socialized again, especially after she gets the glasses, and then she mistakes Jamie 2 for Jamie 1 because, they look the same. And she thinks that that's her dad. I don't know if she ever fully comprehends that he's not, but she definitely becomes more socialized, whereas Lily, the younger one, is just not. And that's the thing with these kids. They're creepy, dude. And I know they're just doing the Exorcist thing with the crawling, but like when they're crawling around, I love it. I love how fucking creepy they are. There's a cool shot of I don't remember exactly when it is in the movie, but I think Jessica Chastain is like looking down the hall, and Lily, the younger one, like crawls through the shadows and then like comes out into the light and sees her and just like stops and like backs up. It's great. All the crawling is very cool. I love that shit. You get, for story purposes, you have this great aunt, I guess. The aunt of the kid's mom, I think, is trying to get custody of the kids. For whatever reason, Jamie 2 wants them instead. I guess he feels just like, I mean, he helped find them. He funded the find for them. So I guess he feels like he needs to get that. But dude, I don't know. Maybe don't. I don't know. But they're able to get the custody of the kids and this big old house. Not everything in the story makes a lot of sense, but I guess part of the thing is like they'll be given a house without a location specified to keep the kids safe. It's not entirely clear to me, but they're able to swing that sweet deal with a lawyer or like a doctor, a psychiatrist dude who is played, fun fact, by a guy who was he was in Aliens. I think it was his first role. He was in Aliens. Spunkmeyer. The name I always laughed at in the kill count. He was a guy who, if memory serves right, was killed off screen after you see him he was on like the ramp of the ship they have on the surface, and you see him, and then you hear a yell, and then Farrow, who is the pilot, she dies, and then it crashes, and that's like game over, man. But yeah, Spunkmeyer was in Aliens, and now he's a psychiatrist. I forgot his name, Gerald, something like that. But he's kind of got his own ulterior motives because he's like, I'll get you custody of the kids as long as I can keep studying them. I think he was writing a book called Mama based on this imaginary mama that the kids are talking about. But is she so imaginary? Haha, I don't think so, because Mama follows them to that new house. And again, later on you find out like it's like that fantastical element to it. There's like a portal, I think, between the cabin and this new house. I don't know if they link to each other or if they're simply portals out of a third space from which Mama comes. But Mama definitely uses it to come into this new house. And after they move into this new house, there is a fucking excellent shot. Might be my favorite shot of the movie, although there are a few really good ones. But it's this shot looking down a hallway, and it's bifurcated. So on the left side, you see like far down the hallway, and on the right side, you see the open door to the kids' rooms. So you're looking into the kids' room, and you're looking down the hallway. And Jessica Chastain is like walking up and down the hallway doing laundry, and you see Lily, the younger kid, playing like kind of tug of war with a blanket in the bedroom. And you know, you're looking at it and you're like, cool, the kids are playing in the bedroom. Jessica Chastain's there. And then you see Victoria, the older kid, in the left, like in the hallway. And so it's like, whoa, who's she playing with? And then like the blanket goes up, I think, and you see like a shadow on the wall of like Mama. And like, it's a cool shot. It's a very cool shot. They kind of repeat the same thing later to less effect, I think, in a shot when like Jessica Chastain is in the kid's room, and there's like a bundle of clothes or there's a person under a blanket in the corner, and she's like, Lily, you scared me. And then in the downstairs, like the main floor, you see Victoria making breakfast, and you see that first, and then when you cut back, you see her like walk up to where Lily is, and she's like, Lily is getting hungry. So Jessica Chastain realizes that Lily isn't the person under the blanket and is Mama. And yeah, it's kind of a repeating the same trick, but that first time they do it is fucking great. I was also curious why Jessica Chastain was top billed until fucking Jamie 2 gets put in a coma, dude. He gets like knocked over a banister and down onto the stairs and put into a coma. And so I was like, oh, that's why Jessica Chastain's top billed, because now it's just her and the kids. And I was very engaged in this story. Like the whole movie, I was like, I don't think it's slow at all. I think it's just telling the story. And maybe if you're into like the hardcore horror and you need to have scares and kills all the time, you might not be interested. But like, I was into it. It was a cool story. It was well acted, and yeah, the acting is great. Jessica Chastain is so good, and it's when it gets down to her and the kids, and she's like put in this position that she never wanted in the first place, to be a mom. It's like, it's a fun, character drama at that point. And she's able to get closer to Victoria, who is like I said earlier, is better socialized, but not to Lily. And that's a fun little dynamic to watch as she slowly discovers more and more about Mama, the not imaginary Mama, who is there and playing with these kids, and it gets very jealous of anyone who messes with them as well. I mentioned this earlier. There's such a fucking cool dream sequence, dude. And it's when Jessica Chastain like goes to sleep and she has this dream, and the effects used on it, I think, are really cool. And I don't even know exactly how to describe them. They're like, the colors are way off, and it's got a little bit of slow motion to it, and it just is. It's in this first person view, so she like becomes Mama, whose real name while alive was Edith Brennan, because that's the thing, is that Victoria was telling the psychiatrist dude Spunkmeyer that Mama like jumped into the ocean with her baby a long time ago, and he finds out from records that it was from like 1878 that happened. Like she escaped a mental asylum with a baby and jumped off a cliff. And so you see this in a dream, and it's just so cool. This first person view with this very stylized look, and she like steals her baby back from a nun and then stabs the nun with like a needle, and then the nun drops and you see Mama in a mirror real fast. And it's not Javier Botet, I don't think. I think it's like a person who plays Mama when you see her, Edith Brennan. And yeah, she like runs away through the woods, and she's like looking down at her baby, and then it becomes the woods. And then when she jumps off that fucking cliff, dude, it's so cool. It's so scary. It's like a roller coaster ride in VR. And she like hits this branch, and it turns out that the branch like killed the baby, but like the baby hung out on the branch, and so Mama fell into the water by herself, and that's why she's a ghost. It's because she like wanted to know where her dead baby was. The baby wasn't with her when she died, and so she's been wandering the woods looking for her baby, and she found those little feral kids right before they got shot by their dad. So that's the story of that. She ends up killing Spunkmeyer, and it's, you know, for me, I was like, cool, 2 kills. It could go on the kill count. Although I would also count the nun and the baby and Edith Brennan and also the grandma, the grand aunt. Sorry, because she keeps popping in the movie, and she's like trying to get child services to take the kids away from Jessica Chastain and give to her instead. And it's kind of like this just perfunctory storyline that we have to keep coming back to. But eventually, she gets killed by Mama and turned into like a husk of, and sometimes the effects in this movie aren't great. They're not always the best. After that cool ass dream sequence, the shot of Mama like crawling onto the bed with Jessica Chastain, I don't think looks the best. When Jamie 2 finally wakes up in the hospital from his coma, he does so because he has a dream vision, and it looks like an alt-rock music video of his brother, Jamie 1, being like, "Save my kids, go back to the cabin," and it's like crazy. I don't know. But like it never made me upset. It's just like, sometimes CG doesn't look that great, and so sometimes with Mama, it doesn't. There's also kind of a weird runner with moths. Moths are like a recurring image in here. At one point, Lily eats one, and it's real fucking gross, dude. She's got like moth blood and carcass all over her mouth. It's real nasty. I guess in the end you see why, because there's like a shot of Edith Brennan's body in the water after she had jumped from the cliff, and it looks like it had been there for a while, and then like her back erupts in moths, so that's why they're like this imagery that's around. But like basically, I don't know, I really liked the feel and tone of this movie. I liked that it was like a fairy tale-esque. I think it even opens with a fairy tale line, like Once Upon a Time maybe, but it's shot like a gothic kind of story, and it looks like one. And I never will understand how you get good performances out of kid actors, but they do here with both the kids, especially with that younger one. I don't know how you do that. Get them to do what you want them to do. It's insane, but they do a really good job here with those kids. And yeah, the ending is this like bittersweet, real tragic moment, because like Victoria decides to stay behind with Jessica Chastain and Jamie 2, and but Lily, the little kid, goes off the cliff with Mama, which is crazy. Like, this movie killed another kid, dude. And first they killed the baby, then they killed the kid. jumping off a cliff. And there's like a shot of them falling where it's like their faces together and Lily's smiling. So it's like, oh, cool, they're happy. And then like they don't hit the ground. They both turn into a bunch of moths, more moth shit. But, you know, they still killed that kid. I don't know how that kid turned into moths. The mama I can get. She's like a ghost. But that's the thing. It doesn't really matter. This whole thing is like fantastical. And like I was just watching it to have a good time. And I did. Yeah, if you're into stuff like that, I think, like, if you're into, like, dark, I just want to keep saying gothic romance. That's how it felt to me. And that's what it felt like, and it was nice. It was a real nice movie to just put on and chill and relax to. If you don't catch plot points, I don't think it's really matters, because it's like, whatever. That's fine. They'll do what they're going to do. And I'll just watch it and watch the scary mama stuff. And, you know, they're the jump scares. They're the usual classic jump scares. And it's fine. It doesn't rely too much on them. They're just there for, you know, for seasoning, for a little bit of spice. So how'd you like Mama? Have you seen this movie? I'm surprised I went this long without seeing it. But it's definitely worth taking a look at in light of Andy Muschietti's success with It. And with Jessica Chastain, she'll be in It Part 2 because of this working relationship, I believe. And, yeah, Guillermo del Toro, he's on a roll. He just had Shape of Water, which won the Oscar for Best Picture, and he's about to do that Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. A movie based on, you know, these crazy books. Remember these books? He's going to make a movie based on this, and that might sound weird, but apparently someone tweeted and asked if the look of the movie would follow the aesthetic of the creepy fucking pictures that everyone remembers, and he replied yes. So that's exciting, because, yeah, dude, this is cool. So I'm excited to see. The stories themselves, I hate to say, are not that scary. We definitely brought these books with us to Comic-Con, to our Airbnb that we shared with a whole bunch of friends, and one night we got together and started to tell some of these, and we were like, oh no, these are for kids. These are like real, like these are for like 6-year-old kids. So the stories themselves weren't necessarily spooky, but still the pictures, fucking excellent. And there's 2 more of these, and Guillermo del Toro is going to be making a movie based on them. I don't know how, but that's going to happen. So go watch this movie to prep yourself for all of that. And also to comment on this post and let me know what you thought of the movie. What do you think of my thoughts on the movie? Let's have a discussion about Mama. Everyone loves talking about mamas. So yeah, do that. Because I want to know if I missed anything and what you guys think of the movie. Thank you for being patrons. I really appreciate it. As always, you can comment on this with suggestions of movies that I should watch for this level. It's the level that I picked the movie, but I always like to have suggestions. I almost watched XX on Netflix. I feel like I'm always saying that I'm going to watch that, and I never do. Instead, I watched Mama. Fuck it. I'll just watch whatever I feel like watching, but you can always give me a suggestion, and I'll take that into account when it comes time for me to pick a movie. So thank you for being a patron. Thank you for supporting me so much. I really appreciate it. And we'll do this again next month. So thank you, everyone. Bye.